Hey guys, Super Horror Bro Mike here, and today we are taking a trip down memory lane as we revisit the classic survival horror game, Resident Evil.
Okay, let me handle this.
In this video we will be exploring the history behind the infamous So Bad It's Good live action cutscene that kicked off a descent into horror madness for thousands of PlayStation owners. But in case you've been living under a rock or are simply too young to remember, let me briefly explain what Resident Evil actually is. The year was 1996, and for the most part horror video games were neither particularly popular or in great supply, especially on consoles. This changed when a game director working at Capcom Studios in Japan by the name of Shinji Mikami pitched an idea for a horror game called Biohazard that was to be based on a little heard of Nintendo game from 1989 called Sweet Home. Mikami got the project greenlit and went on to create what many gamers at the time proclaimed to be the scariest game ever made. It was also a fantastic experience with both incredible audio and visuals, great shooting mechanics, clever puzzles, and some truly twisted monster designs. However, this survival horror classic, later renamed Resident Evil for the Western market, was far from perfect. You could forgive the cheesy B-movie storyline, as that was part of the game's charm, a throwback to those old horror movies like Day of the Dead.
Now, George A. Romero takes us out of the night, beyond the dawn, and into the darkest day of horror the world has ever known. Day of the Dead.
Less forgivable, however, was the dire script writing and even more painful voice acting, especially the version we received outside of Japan, with dialogue exchanges often sounding like this.
Is that Jill?
Is that voice Enrico's?
Yeah?
You're alive!
Wait there! Are you with anybody, Jill?
What? Oh yes!
Enrico!
So, Barry and Jill together.
But the peak of this abysmal storytelling is surely found during the game's intro, in which director Mikami thought it would be a good idea to shoot a live action sequence with real actors, presumably in the hope of scaring players the same way a good horror movie would. Well, that didn't quite work out. Shinji Mikami went on record stating the following in relation to this intro sequence. "That cheap filming was completely my mistake. I did not have enough time or money and should have chosen the actors according to their acting skills, but now it's too late for that." The actors used in the opening of Resident Evil weren't actually actors at all, instead they were chosen completely based on their appearance. The people in the intro were simply that, people who fit the look, living in Japan at the time. The actress who played the role of Jill Valentine was just a college student from Canada studying in Japan, so it doesn't come as much of a surprise that their performances were less than stellar.
No! Don't go!
They weren't even credited in the game, rather aliases were used. The dialogue for these actors was then dubbed over by the real voice actors cast in the game.
Jill, run for that house!
If you've only ever played the Western release of Resident Evil, then you've only ever seen the intro in black and white, which may lead you to believe the intro was in fact shot this way. This isn't actually the case. The Japanese original was shot in full colour, and was then changed for Resident Evil's Western release to lessen the impact of the gory visuals in an attempt to avoid an adult-only age rating. Several shots are also missing from the Western release, including this brief shot of Chris Redfield smoking a cigarette, various shots of mutilated corpses, and a few shots showcasing gruesome attacks on members of the STARS team. So not only did the Western release receive a muted colour palette, it also removed most of the violence and gore, resulting in a confusingly edited sequence that lessened the impact of the original scene yet further. It is worth remembering that many games around this time period used live action cutscenes. These were mainly PC point and click adventure games like Seventh Guest and Phantasmagoria, but there were console games such as Shinobi for the Sega Saturn that employed this medium for all its cinematics. While none of these were very good, Resident Evil surely holds the candle for one of the worst and most poorly conceived intros of all time, and due to the game's massive success, it only highlighted its stupidity further. In fact, when the remake of Resident Evil launched on the GameCube in 2002, Capcom wisely made the decision to rewrite and reshoot the opening cutscene using CGI, and I think we can all agree it has aged all the better for it. And that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it, and if you did, remember to give it a like and subscribe for more horror related content, including theories, analysis and let's play videos. And I will see you on the next one.